Welcome back to the Exodus podcast. Tuni tiang in clear tunan zate para mai sibika kan ngoi dika kasimdo tuni kan recording mi here. Special guest kan nai mo Florida lamin kan unaw no Mary asi nan shakatso tamson nan thaimen dang e tuni kan reeling mi here. Yang kadang kan ma ka u ke male ka u khasiseti kan reeling ring chawi kha midang himi thone pe paro kan in rail bi thai du ding ki som sara ti ki rail nak thu kan nei te e kha in lo pin ti ding mo yang tin si rail ding
Patien rem roa se
ya patien rem roa se ko e kha kan o Mary kha se hina la marak long phan kha hun ma chatak hitin tong thena kha in pe ke ama kha thu mal te kan su ding yang mi si ding ti se le cho kha pastor family din huna ti yang tin si kan struggle mi te khasi se chuna nom nak lam khasi se everything kan ti pe jote all the topics that we can probably I guess cover we're going to try and this is going to be based on her experience no me zaran bi experience lo in ka my personal experience there asiding wrong ka midang thon adang lam zat men thai midang thon an bango men thai but in all due disclaimer my life experience dan ka arel dingi ka in rak clear nga kan ngoi
si thupi kan ti zet himi kan railing kan tia kan unaw khlin kha zau kaw sela thading tin kan ruat de rawi yang atile pastor is like the most respected job right but at the same time the most disrespected job
right
chuna kin ki ama a pastor long mana harding asia chuna fa le ranga jiang tuken harding asiti kati vậy tâm piat ra khi chun kan kiang kap ka zau te ka pa pastor rak selaw khal ki lungoi thu ka sim ti bek looking kin like personally a harding zia yang ronga te ke ma khal ni kin ka von zau hai khara swal to thelo ding bek looking kin ke man ka ruate mo chu vekin yang so opinion ki krak nai te ka kin ke haran ti zet ding ti in le kami von sud de in kanเรียนทางเรื่องที่กันรวดมีเสียอินเทลปีไทยกันลงอ่อยตกนับบางเดียวดึงนานโอ้ย
โอเคก็กำลังจูMary จงสินมวยสิตูที่ Jacksonville Floridaกับ
okay Sunshine State
yes Sunshine State
not recommend
yeah North Carolina
น่าหนอมตกหนอมนั่นติดตกนึง
นั่นหมามันที่น่ารักนั่นร้านเลยสิokay but without further ado kan malam in kasi se ki mitu ka ure zo vekin ki we have our own expectation kete pe mo pastor fa kan silaw te ka ki midang kan pastor Paul si se mundang ni pastor Paul kasi se ti kitin ki kan matin ki we have our own standard of what a pastor's kids should be and so kami kan my expectation te like kan my zoom nak daw or kan my kan ro nak te ka like kan lo sud kay nang my life experience ton kay milo lo di vek rong in mo so kay my biggest thought mito ka uni klare so okay sometimes I try to put myself in a pastor's kid's shoes and I don't want to be it either yang atele ki nule pa pakat or if not both patien ta ton to an si le so ka fa le sanga ka standard ka sang ve tok zo mo so bible lama ka si se thiam zet mo di thainon sunday school sia ma pakat asike or prison worship troi du pakat asike chun klonglam class se cha thiam ke chun mi thon sa sai ka se mo thiam mi e chun like just overall like a student type thing you know like he feeling me respecting kidin ki that is my expectation of what a pastor's kid like a good pastor kid should be that is my expectation
na dek rauri an voi man ke moi ding yeah like honestly like
it's so from us
like I'm perfectly rauri kin mo like kut ti vek tak sa man thak da lo ding ke bang tyo ka vek lukin kin kan zau chu kan ni ka chun swal nei lo rauri mo nang nei lo rauri lukin kan zau rauri pante ka chu perfect rauri si ke ma len ka ro tell me
so does that align with your expectation
yeah I think oh yeah tuna mo le ka pa pasta si lo ka lungoi tu ka sim tell
I think that would align with my expectation
so how is it in the reality kete peso I mean katin like kan real Mickey do you experience that too from other people like
personally
like, personally in ki yang tin si midang inte an law hu dan
kay my experience at so obviously face to face into inti law pantete because people are smart you know
yeah
but sinan ki yeah in expect kanu le pa ni tla khian expect ka khami pol chu te chu le pastors family changlian kan si te ka chu kan naw hak det lai sin khi khami khi it's already in our head that we should especially for me it should be that way you know but yeah
especially nu now ra nga chu kha alor da win ka thai because nu now re ran ki su yang ka tinang fielding le filming like it's already like you said implemented even though I'm not a pastor's kid that's kind of like the reputation that I need to follow more nu now chu kan si da rong kha fielding da kha chu mi pa na ken chu kha standard kha asang che ka te pe so I mean pastor kid ka silo nan I understand
can kind of relate
exactly I can relate but nan shanga chu ka ti ve ken like na ba ki pathian na tuan to pathian rong bo to si ve ken mun dang khala si ke a fe tam ning ka te pe chu te at long tam ning e obviously when he goes in sung sang nei fa nei ti khan thei lo ding mo e kha I'm sure other people wonder like your whereabouts ka ti pe chu mo like nan unaw za or maybe just you or you know nan unaw laga maybe you're the one that stands out so nang ma bulpak in tla kha midang shanga standard ki asang daw ta si men thai mo ki te vek sit ga ki like nang ma lam inte do you like when you feel that like how do you yang ka dang nang ma lam inte yang tin sin rot like do you think like oh that's so young absurd to asang law to ti vek and more or do you kind of say yeah that should be the expectation for me ki and my standard to kan real me pol ki do you think that it's like oh yeah that should be the way I am ti vek and kin ta mo
yeah ka honestly and then if you ask me the same questions like 10 years ago my answer would be totally different yang atile to like when you are a teenager you're the pressure you feel more pressure right
yeah
zorang ki sinan tu chu som thum tla kan nei ve lang ki mo chu te ka ki yang ting ka ti pe pathian thula ma tla ge ma ka changlian vi vaw te ka ki pressure ki ka feel tuk non lao like you said ki kan una ki ka outgoing de big ti to me si te ka bia in lama tla kan na hak te lai sin Sunday school in si se minaw lama tla si se la kan rak mangok ve ti ka ki yeah there is definitely expectation of like oh ni chu Mary kan ti ka chu oh sia pai fa si ti vek pol kha thlang ti ka ki not only the bar is set so high for from like church me people you know but also from yourself yeah and then atana chu ke ma ki I think that's the biggest disappointment because and then zoom tu pakhat din hunin chu zoom tu tha si kha kan zoom chiao chu mi hlaya ki pastor fa kan si te ka chu kai ma ka ming sia ta chun obviously ka pa kha alulu in ai kol tong ka mang mo
Tiam ngai so
tiam ngai lo dan automatic in ki ka pa kha effect ka ti khami khi ya kai ma chu khami khi ka rot na sa
rot big ya yang tin kim da to kha oh kai ma min sia long sel ka pa min kha ti kha te ka kha yang ka tin like na du nak na to tum vek at ki how would that affect my dad ti ki probably that first train of thought
exactly
yeah
chu to na party vek pastor an von to na ke chun kholan tong an bak dang dang se khoti kha vek cha na ke te pastor fine te yang tin sin na khan sa theo do you feel like you want to spend more time with dad
yeah
or
that's a good question ki kapa ki tu kumin chu 34 years pastor atwan nak rong ki si ve thlang ningi ka thei ka sim swal pang lo le ti chumi ti ka ki the first like probably kumhlai ni hlai thum ka kim tianga ki ka pa ini lo mi hi atam na sa probably 60% 70% trong ki chu ina ki lo tluk ki si yang atile bible tong akai pha and then khana la ya chu aizola kan umiti mizorama kan umi chuna in tin thla cham an afe mi shim shima ki ina hi a lo chan hi atam son chu te ka ki kapai thanoi hi kan ummal zet asinan kanu hi afel to kimo kanu tla zum tu thate si chumiranga ki yang si fa le tla kandar loading in ki kapa absence chu si lo ite sinan inia tam tuk lo mi ki kan feel tuk lem lo yeah
no that's so yang kada nang kanya ka ka uta dominating nan kanya ki insang no din hun atupi ja mo and we were kind of like talking about this in the car earlier and like zo man ki tu kan pani kan so tla ki patien rong wa tu like nupi sin kin na pai mo sen do not recommend kan
Yeah,
ka bebe.
do not recommend.
Yeah, because yang rong ati sila so ahar di ki kan thai mo, and then especially being a pastor din huna so patien in ka himi ko ran hi tu ve ki kil khoi ding ro ri na pek mi se ka so patien ni ko na ko ka sang son thang mo, so it's like your family is the church. You can't separate the two. They're both the same thing. So availability wise, everything ki na family na take care ding vek and ka like church ka take care to the ka no din munin kan na ti vek and like na no ka vek e zum nak lama arak piting lo bang ta se la nan ma fa le shanga ki yang tuin si to insang pa lo nak or na hak den munin so maybe we can't understand why is my dad never here, like me family mo ki nan kitin midang hena nan kan hena lo ti vek ro nak la ki lut thai mi si so, but the fact that your mom was deeply rooted in faith and was able to avoid the absence of your dad and kind of like played both roles while he was gone. Like tu nan pitling ata, like you said, na pa insuk sanga katit lokin like biakin lamle zum tu dang pol kil khoi na ka ki achana mangnan, you guys don't feel left out, you know what I'm saying?
Shout out to mom.
Shout out to
Honestly.
mom.
To President Obama tiyak man ki mo kati si anu pim lo se president tuan lo den.
Proverbs 31 woman. Right there.
Exactly.
Si so na mak lolo sin no din mon class se. And to kind of go based on that, like dating relationship life di veka te, does it feel hard on you? Because as mi party, yang katike tang balai ti vek fala ti vek kan von nyer ding manati, pasta fa ti kitchen ki malte to like, you know, kan shong de utsu, yang atire parin king ning mo like. To vek te ka kin nang mai te yang harsat nak na tong mo yang tin se.
Oh, cái harsan nak tu katong lo.
Na pan ngam deu si.
Then where is he at?
I know, right? Where is he? Like, 像是 dating 啊，去做个把跟努力把你去像是of course 去 standard to inset the 做 like guidelines 版的的，是咱像是哦去做咪跟读了，对不？去安尼怎做了 I guess， and then 跟埋迄個懂了嘅咧。
No, hina so malten kalang kimlaw katong no now so we're not made to go look for it. They're the ones
look for
supposed to
it.
find. Yeah, they're supposed not it.
Kami atong mi ka to ka kan kwat a phone ka zau sala teng.
So please. Yeah.
Kan producer felt to
Starbucks.
and kan social media felt to Starbucks in daw.
Wow, kan lungoy.
Yeah, kan lungoy. Nalungoy sa ka kay ka sim.
Thank you so much.
Na zau ti la ka himin pe bet la. Cool.
Mitu man mo man ki ti dai kin Taylor ti Starbucks.
Starbucks is not the diet.
Remember they'll be like, then who like a cook who make COVID tile. Correct.
Yeah. But yeah, mitu ka karel kop sila like
Karel COVID.
Yeah,
Kan real lighting si.
no, anu ati mi ka because
Yeah.
like you said, if that were to be us, no now, because kind emotional that we ka. It's so easy to have been like, oh, kan ma na insung sang na nule fa na kin midang nule fa, you know, like family bokin na important person si or zong
That
real
could
mista
happen.
patin na dron to sinaki.
Yeah.
Yang aso patin na kin kan ma hun indu dot di vek tiang in ki like rot thai mi si mo, but the fact that you know your mom was deeply rooted in faith to the point where she didn't think those absurd thoughts mo to like nan ma fa le pol kasi se alo kai roi thai mi ki. That's mad respect.
One question for you. Nasan song ate. Pasta fa na si kakatinom natin ti mi fi katal na tong ba mo. Like personally or
Oh
like,
yeah, of
no.
course.
Like I think you will encounter that, but something that stuck with you, like, that one time that you can never forget.
Which one do I pick? I'm just kidding. I'm
Name
just
a
kidding.
few. Like, atam lekha like maybe name 3.
Call them out. I'm kidding. Don't do that.
佢即係換咗另so honestly 佢跟你讀落 I think นั่นนี่แต่นั่นสิเวดิงที่ your biggest criticism is always from yourself you know อย่างที่เลยมีตุดลากระปะคือ Bible ลองกายไล่ที่เวกลากระเรียลเก่านั่นที่ฉะนั้น กันนี่กันวันชากันติดงมกับป้าป้าชาจวนนัก church บอกคีอินดูโดนเจ็ดกันน่าฮักเด็ดหลายสิ่งที่ใกล้ละจู like I said you know not to brag but I was a cute baby
What happened?
I don't know what happened ที่จะร้องที่กันน่าฮักเด็ดหลายหลังที่อินดูเจ็ดยังอะไรกันนู่ที่บอกที่อุณาทุ่มเตกันสีเตกันอุปบิกขจมัลเตอุปาเจ้าเตกับขันนาเวกอัตรานี่ค่ะกันอุณาทุ่มเตงที่ยังสิ it's a lot for my mom you know จุนับเบียกอินโปละใกล้ตัดจุ Sunday คอมจากอินที่มีน่ะเรียกเรื่องที่เป็นใครอินช่วยเขาเบียกสิติกะที่ใกล้มาจุที่ที่ก็ทิ้งลงอีจามดิ้งกับอินที่อินติตุที่ประเทศตาใช้ที่กระตงเรา
awesome ติ้งจะตรงเต่งเนอะ
Yeah, why? ไม่ตั้งใจเลยเราbut no, that was like way.
You didn't expect that,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, especially with like guiltily, like unlike me sin tendencies, like it's okay. Kan ni ke chuki like feeling nase tirori tong ke kan du chamo kan ni ko ne. Ke ma khale sing talk like not just saying everyone, but yeah.
Anyways.
Kan lau du dot wrong ah, right Jacob? Tong du lau.
But Kativek and like I agree when you say the biggest criticism comes from yourself because I'm so negative to myself and it's your thought that you're hearing all day 24/7 and I'm like constantly being so harsh on myself like like you could have done better it's never wow you did such a great job I never hear that you know what I'm saying and that's nobody to blame but myself but it's like expectation ka high tok wrong amucho ka thelo but it's like when you do something even afate begin mo it's like knak in the to thai si midang hon an to thai ti vek rong ki a ring ta ka I mean I'm really glad that it wasn't the fact for you because
Kaya nga mo na to di wrong
Tu chule no now fa na si vek inte e kolton ti vek na fe chana te kin like na parents ta missing the pressure tak ke thelmo.
That's a good question. อย่างเรา US กันรัฐลานะคิดที่ควาลองตัวสิเรานั้นกับป้านี่คิดอินจะกันอูน่าจะอินสงสารอินจะจะมีจู US อีอันนุ่งจังจู TV สินลาสิเสละกันเห็นลานี่สินที่กันไทยจุดที่กันไทยจะที่จูมีอินจะเรื่องมีจู number one อ่ะจูกันนี่จูปะเทียนฟ้ากันสิand then ปะนี่นักอ่ะจูกันนี่จูหลายมีกันสิที่มีปะนี่คิดอินจะเรื่องจูมีคิดก็มีหลายอ่ะจู US กันรับช่วงอ่ะคิด I think I was like 17
oh wow
so ก็มีหลายอ่ะจูคิด teenage mind ทอนมอยังอ่ะสิกับป้าจูเวกอินจะเรื่องที่เวกคิดกระรักรัดเท่านั้นสินั้นตัวหนูอ่ะคิดกระรัดเกียร์สาระคิดจุดลูกคิดทุกจ่าฉากคิด you know คิด it was so impactful it is still impactful ยังอ่ะที่เลย US อ่ะกันมีหน้าตากันจวน especially นั่งคลาสตินั่นปนิน you know ที่หน้านั่นจวนลงหน้ากันจวนลงกันกายอินสังละมาละกันบ่อยจะมีสิทธิ์กะที่ยังสิปะเทียน number one นี่เรดดิ้งที่ like กัน favorite word ตัวก็ busy ตก you know ที่มีที่มีสิทธิ์กะที่กับไปทุกจ่ามีที่ตัวหนูที่ที่ก็ไทยเทียมสารวิว you know and then หลายมีกันสิที่มีที่ทุปีทุปีจำเจ้าแล้วที่กรักรัดเท่านั้นที่สินั้นตุ้นหัวที่ทุปีจะยังไงที่เลยกัน roots กันสวนนักกันไทยงะลงอินที่ you know I think you find yourself you know
yeah because gonna get like most of my life I grew up here in America so it's yang kadang American min na kan tlemlaw you know and then tu hina kum upas pi zo noi hina US rama ro theng hina kan tlemlaw tika ka it's like a weird place more
feel bad for you
mirang pasituma ta kan tlem thai song lo so the fact that we know that we are different we are like me kan city mi chin long kan nei nu chun we don't have to feel like we have to fit in
exactly
and then patien fa kan city mi can like we have to be the salt of the world you know what I'm saying be the light minong like we don't have to blend in with the world we are called to be different so kan different la like abuelo that's what we're called to do timika like get like experience wrong I mean whatever that your dad said I can relate
yeah and ก็remember ที่เวกินหมอเราเลยอาเกียงกับอาเลงที่เวคาลินตีนับปะค่ะ directly นั่นซิมงำเราเด้ยังอัตเลปัสตาซีหมอ somehow and respect ตีอามาลงเต้นนั่งมาเราที่คริมินค่ะนับปะซิมเลเสที่เวกเดาทอยกินเตเราที่เดาตุกที่เต้นนั่นไหนเท่าหมอ like have you ever encountered that
like feedbacks
yeah
I don't think that's
too.
feedback honestly
what do you want to call it
yeah theo có to me yeah อาจารย์就可以 like simple things you know oh ตัวนี้กันเสียบะทุกสิ่งภาษาเอาไว้แต่ร้องคำว่า you know
guilty
เฮ้ยแม่กล่าวที่กล่าวที่อาจารย์ค่ะกับป้าค่ะกับป้าทุนสิมเลยค่ะ you know คมแจกจังๆกันดูเท่าที่ honestly คือเศร้าตัวกินสิมหลักที่ว่าค่ะกับดีเทลสินั้นคือ behind the scene กันไทยเรามีตัวรองบอลดิ้งปะเทียนินอโกมีค่ะกันสิเรา you know ป้าสตาร์ดิ้งอโกมีค่ะกับป้าสิติกะค่ะติมตัวออกนักปะเทียนนี่อามายนุนี่อพวงมีคือกันวัดไทยบ้านเราติกะคือ
เราเรียมาเลย
นั่นทุสิมคือตัวเดวินสิมอติเวคือกันตีเลยคือปะเทียนนัดรอนดิ้งมีคือกันคือบ็อกซ์ส่งอ่ะคือกันเรดปังไปหมดติเวคือตู้หนวกคือกระรัดซาลีบันอะไรน่ะจะยากติเวเท่าเขา
and honestly like ไอ้มาคลินเขาเวกค่ะที่เรื่องตู้ขลกสีมั่ว like กันพาสต์ป้าทุสิมาว่าไรเวกันที่ตู้เรื่องขลกสี but honestly กันมาเลยกันมากันวนเจ้าสารสีเลยคือประเทศกันดูเราร่วงอ่ะสิจงง่ายแต่เสียละตู้ฟลาตั้งบาเลยฟลาแต่กันดูออกมาหน้าที่จานบาร์ต้องดึงไทยเรามันเองกันเบลไทยโจ and you probably don't encounter that because likeนั่น
I just want to hear you breathe
ทุกง่ายยังมันกันจงเราเองค่ะ like
he can
Jacob yes
too much
จู่ๆฟอนเราเรียกกันตินยังมันกันจงเราที่กันที่กันตัวเขาเรียกจะอเรเราเมนคิดว่ากัน we want to spend time with them right the same way ประเทศทุกอินซิมเรียค่ะกันนิ่งกันติมีเขาแค่หมอกันมาคิดประเทศทุกคนเราแต่กันไปเราจู่นี่นะจู่ that's like someone you don't love bothering you every day right like เราบล็อกเราเนาะ
บล็อกทั้งไปหมด
yo I wonder how many people have said that no that's true
yeah
อ๋อเรานะแสดงmen
and then ปะคัดเต sorry กับเบ็ดดูมีตัวอย่างสิคือมีนวัดละกันมังว่ามีจริงที่เวกัดละปัสจะฟันูกันสิติกาตัวอย่างสิเก่าฉันส่งทุกกันไทยเวจุดที่อย่างไรเลยลุดสวกนะคะ first in first out นะคะเวกัดจังที่กันไทยติกาคือกับไปทุดละคืออันเรียลเสียติเวกัดไทยปังอ่ะคือกันหักเดียวเลยจู่ก็ที่นั่นนะobviously because ก็ช่างอ่ะจู่ปัสจะสิหลานินกับป้าสิเจ้าติกาที่คือกัดตัวนัดไทยเสร็จฉะนั้นตัวหนวดจู่เขาเวกันไทยตาเลยคือประเทศนี้คืออามายละมีเฟดดิ่งคืออย่างสิอินเกาวีวาวกันที่ไปจุดที่อะไรนะจู่กับหุ่นจำเจ้าเท่านั้น
หมอเรา
อย่างสิอันสิติเวกช่องว่าคืออย่างอินละมาคืออย่างทุกินอันติมตัวออกกันหมุติกะค่ะที่กันจางฟังนักทนปะกันกับป้าสีนักกระดูดนักทนกับปันเตที่
น้ำหมอเราเรียนตู้จากจุดที่ even from my perspective นั่นไม่ชดน่าซาท้องนี่กลุ่มเสียตัดสกันดักตงอกค่ะ
ไรตกจ้ะ
ไม่น่ารู้ที่น้ำมันไม่น่ารู้ที่ขมี CBN ตัวมาที่ขมีอาคันขมีหลายค่ะจุยังจางเดียวแล้ว
wow
no I'm serious like ไม่น่าชิริกันชิริดูต้องขายได้จุ๊มั้ง
ขายได้ไร
น่ะตัวน่ะรู้ว่านักที่เวกเขาสิเซที่น่ะ mature viva น่ะซะตั้งปีขมีกับเราหมดให้
our faith because zoom nak akan thang solas low sela chu na tive ken mini get like that's my biggest thing kapa ka vek chairman rakton da so ikha ke ka front row ka tawi kapa ka solo kan ta kong hit ka rak sim re ro so aba dingi malama fa nuin chu tin chu ti sim re ro ka nervous lo in ti ka wi hak mai tum ti si su chang but ya ka I know how that is kan nu la kan pam halam an ti ka ki du sak nak thon ki it's like swal ha se ka tin ti tha mini ti lo ding in tin kha kan ma kan chang ve tok ka kha na ti ve kan mai an heni kan simi pol na tu sim sao de or tin na tong mi kha kan ti te ka kha an ma sanga kha tha jang pek nak lam selawin ki na ti ve kan like pathiani fiel mi tua ter lo ding I don kam tua kan sang chau so I mean look at Peter Satan kadunga like feo you know like Satan ti ro rina ko ve mo si so and so like pathiani tum ta nak and ka like even though we are family Satan can still use us in a way to get in between what you know God has called them to do so that I mean that's a really big yang katadang like crowd la min pitling lo sele so khavek la kan rot thai lo ding so min nong dan la min khatin kan ren to ki kan ro dok kan do rong kan ti hana kha pachiani ko nak tua mi kha tua fial mi kha tua ter lo tua kha don tua kan sang thai thau ka ti nak mate mo and then that vek and like with time to question adang pakhat kalaw so do mi pakhat so kha it kind of will just kind of flow I guess to pastor fano si bang ta lo sela or even if it's like let's say unbeliever family if you were to have been born into an unbeliever family and this can go for all three of us we can answer but you can go first Mary young Dinsi do you think that you will find God yourself in a way that's like wow zumlo tu din huna kasinan ki like is there a God out there tivek and ki hold on not to know that kin nei ve ke mo ki I want to know that like how much has our parents' faith and religion impact our own faith journey more chen kan ton na ki kan ho ki yang tuan si impact mi te mi ka thai
yeah kimi ro na ki ke la kan nei ve re ra chao yang ati le nang ki kan rel tang cheu te yang si ki pastor fa se la se to ki ka sol na sa de ka rel cheu I'm yeah ka teenage la in thai la in si wai
karong khalle ka best on karong tool ding protection
yeah unbeliever family is wrong kan thang lian le to te ma te in chu pathian chu hol chu har zet ding sinan pathian ni kan mai lam shangi arak yang sin sip arak plan mi sila chu kan mukau ding sinan chu mi ve lo bang se la no okay for example yeah ke chu sikau real ding lo chu mi ka ti ka pastra family ka thang lian rong a hi ve ka si ti nak chu ka asi chuang lo nan sinan kanu le pai in shwai nak ki lo se la chu tu vek din hun hi ya ka thleng lo ding hina I tawi ti you know ke vek ta se la yeah
and honestly me no like me ka sila sila chu pathian ka thai ding ka zum lo and like I always said this to even tidim especially ka nui nu lam ki tidim man se ma tidim tha tia khali ka ngai dang thau tidim lam polian and or zet mi ki chu kan ma lai mi khalen kan or to khal kha khalen or zet mi chu kan la khala lai mi kan sirong pathian lai mi kan sirong a pathian in plus one in pe lai mi hi indu chuang kan nam indu chuang te mi kha that is a lie and yang ronga ta so kan chau te le kan pi pu kan nu le kan pa por thain cham sak dang ronga se and kan nu le ka pi le ka pu ni kin pathian an rak du tok ronga kha kan ma hi ta so kan nga mi se chu and so the same way ka fa pa rang khala se kan nu pa ro rin tha kan cham re ro atul and the same way kan fa pa khani a fa rang a cham le ro sala tul te mi khamo khami ro ri sikau obama namdanga swak sala chu yeah nanak man ga swal dang
are we competing I'm not saying the same thing
himi chu innocent tok mi tu zola zan war kan call ka ti man thai thiam lo chu mo and she was like huh
be like it's 9 I gotta sleep okay
no
kon pit chu thang te
but I think it's my turn to answer okay
Yeah.
in taki ka ron tell kami ronak in yang misi in liter ti sele so honestly like kanu like ka pa Christian man and si rong amo si ka Christian tiki ka ruat I don't have a way to kind of think like if they weren't Christian ke matan ki ka hol pe mo tiki chu silaw but more so am I just a Christian because my parents are Christian timi son ka kan biak in atla ka pakad golpa golsit asina nandupi ka falamika annei no fale annei no longen ka Buddhist and ka like Christian ka arak yang katanang aton katabezo he had his own encounterment with the Lord katabezo so amai tati kan mi ka he was like tu hina nan tawre nan ma pol ki nan nule nan pa Christian an silaw sala tu biakin songa nan kleng lauding nan ra lauding ati so and then kami asim tika like looking from his perspective Buddhist tanglian mi asitika ka Buddhist asin huwa Jesu Christ atong like personal encounter anei like Christian asimika I was like wow ki you know like anu le pa yang ka atan san ve tul sumo like mi bebet kan rotika so kavyak biak nak lam tua so like disown ro ki sig sumo so for him to go through that and chose Jesus and then kan ki so we're so lucky and we don't even know nu le pa ni hit look in kain sam sak na tivek and mo kanu le pa kanu ki like she'll be waking up at 4 a.m. and I'd be hearing her pray in the kitchen you know like I think that's the reason why I mean I'm not saying that's the only reason why but
that's a
that
huge
is a
part.
huge part
Oh,
of
yeah.
reason why I am who I am you know like patien ton ka ke kar nak lam khala se ko han lam khala se kan to na khala se a big blessing has to do with my mom's prayer for me you know and it's not just her kan pasara whoever but kati do son mi so like wow Christian family akrak born law ta se la ki patien ka thei ka ti hana hit look in ki ko han lam khala se ke pe ko din ki ka zum law because it's easy to go to church but to be involved and to serve to have that heart to want to serve ki kami vyak lam ki do nak ding ki so nei ding ki so kas ke la maybe like not so much
To kind of go back on the pastor thing Pastor Fa na si ruanga Pastor Insong sang na si ruanga ti blessing kat nga daw tlaswa katong daw ti mi vek tin long kita na mo like have you ever encountered that because ama patien ha atuan tu fa nan sia chun somehow mi dang na kan chun you have to earn something you
that's
do
an interesting question
yeah like tu ubama ka company rong to la my bonus it only belong to you because you work at my company you know ti vek in kan like na kan sa mi na mo or it's a curse I don't know
I don't think it's a curse. I don't think it's a curse. Yeah, the gay my experience so definitely ki kui na kan fe la le ti mini na pa zao si inti Daniel kap thon thang si ka ti ka so nang chu pa sha fa si wal tin ki an mit my unchanged me ki chu ki me ki I think that's like
lucky
it's a blessing because they're not like pastor fa mo to me fa mo ti shop you know I think that's a big thing because me pakhat na tong first impression is always a big it's a big thing and to me tika an min mai pante in mu mi shim ki it's really yang tin si karel ding
amak to pro ito
yeah
singai si
I never thought of it like
that
never I think it's because we're so judgmental
nang malong kay gusto
it's like don't drag me in
don't drag me in there
Atsurori backflashing to Jordan ika like you said you know I mean that probably says a lot without even saying a lot about your dad like patien rongbol na ka tisa na den patien ha don law sala ka nan fa le pon ka sa min mai tan nan saw law ding so you know like when you think about it because parents are the one who kind of set the example especially as a pastor or someone in the ministry if they are not well respected your family your wife is automatically you know like napaki respect things respectful law si sala so nan ma thanga min mai thanga ding ki law ding so and same goes you know nan no thanga like for the wife too if your husband is not well respected or if you're not respecting your husband other people are just gonna treat them the way you treat them so I think that goes a lot
si karuat dalo na ron real nga ngai chu ka von ruat sare asingai ti o koram hana ki rol ka nei mana sa tho na nei mai sabik chu mo oe nan du non mi kan ai nga chu mo karuat ti asingai si
you can't relate and then kay adang phat sudu ka
Yeah.
mi chu ke tu na zoom na ka ki pastor fa na si ronga like I'm sure nan sungkhom ti vek lam class se na palam na pan ka se you know like zoom nak lam ki allow sim thading ki ka zoom like how has that sharpened your faith journey ka te peso nang mai zoom nak na ki karna ka ki na pai to sim nak in mo lo na pai kai shwai nak in ki yang tin si na zoom nak lam ate ki allow pitling ter and then like what are some of like tu ni tiang like nakai het mi ka te peso na pai ne ni sin na pai ne ni sin teachings ball kan ti men peso
ti reeling he atam na sa pakhata chu kapa ni ka naw ha deu lai sin ki in sim mi chu kai hi I hate reading books like any kind of book like it puts me to sleep
Kay khara.
so ki kapa ni ki Bible siar la ki har za tu ti ki chabu dang shim la ka la Bible ki siar ki it's a big challenge I think for every Christians Zumitiga ki nan siar pai lau tla le ki thu fi ma ki there is 31 chapters kimi kini khata chapter pakhat ki siar ring ringu timi kha in cha ring ring zumia ki jiang si kan siar pai lau cha da thleng mana ki oh let's do that ki mi te ki a chau chule hina kan thleng noi in cha chau mi kan to chau mi chu ki jing kan moto kan mong thok lan na trending mo or khuina kan fe ding khale kan fe moto sung kan tau ti ka ki thla cham ding ki in cha theu yang ati le chu I mean jing kan thau thla kan cham kau nan sinan you know we're going to go out into the world and moto la kan mong ding ti ve ka ki ma te hlanok nak ti ve ki in nei ding tla ki in cha theu chumi lawa chu tu Sunday school tla kan zir ve te chu ve ka tla ki minau la ka tla si se la ka tha naw cha na ki ka pa ni ki in sim ring mi chu yang si kan nang chu pa ki pastra fast long si lawin ti ke pathian ke tla ki pat ka thek to kin chu pathian ki ka du zet asinan yang tin si Bible tlong tla kan kai law ti vek po ki you know ma le ma naw tat ong na ki aswak cheu te ka ki pathian ka pa ni ki in sim cheu mi chu pathian ni ki zir sang long ti zir sang pol long ki mangdu si se la ki a mangdu mi pol chu an zir sang the ding asinan pathian ni chu ziang tlok din mun ni kan ding tla le ki ama ni thloswa in pek du le chu kan tong kam pakhat te tla thloswa pek thei ring ring ti mi pol in cha mi ki tha jang in pek thei je ti tha naw cha na yeah
that's important because I think it was what last episode or the before it was like million or mi fel or kan ma ten chatna kan eding the US kan sila ki zaman kan kan loading TV kan ki but I mean look at the disciples he like lan kan sakring you know like I'm just a nobody you know talking about somebody to everybody TV kan ki mi jiang man kan silaw nan mi jiang man silaw chengin pathen in mang mi kha it's to glorify him I mean think about that mi tiam pol ki mang ding bang ta sala so malema chok na klan nei ding sumo they'll have pride but even the good book talks about how no one is going to be taking pride but only the free gift of salvation that God has given to us so I mean that's definitely a good word of wisdom because like you said our biggest critique is going to be coming from us so kan tha naw chan ka I mean like Bible tlong kai rong ni kan tharau mi jam jaw ta so I mean look at me ka kai de ko nan I
look at me
it's you know what I'm saying ki yang thầy nak me na si but if the Lord doesn't work in you then it's yang man lo me na chang you know like you wasted all that money just for nothing and then Bible lang kai ya so nak tampit la ka umbet sumo so it's tricky
train pa ma na rel duk di film nak chem na ti vai khat voi ne karwat chau me kan lai especially kan lai mi kan te deng lai mi po ka von ki le raw ding yang ate lai mi community kan sirwanga mo vai tampi pasta kan dau kan ti pathian thu rel pathian thu sim tu po kan dau kan ti tla ke Jesus and life rasi pol te kan bang mo ti raw ri ka mo kan tu lai kan leader tampi the khat la kha chu training ti vek pek ding mana hi training in pe tu ding pa hi degree nai mo ti vek khoi tok long in achumong man silawin khoi tok long in a the
yes
ordenan pek na man khoi tok community khoi tok long khoi tok kau thani ordenan pek ti po ten kan boy chu mo chu mi ke ka von zau te ka khin Jesus san lai von se bang ta se Jesus man kan hong kau deng frasi community jo kan sil kau ding le talking ke tampi ki jo be khabon ya ken kam hotel
The credibility we look for is like in the man itself.
oh yeah
Not patien mi le patien mi man an simoti na rin ka an education background kan
and I think we should look at like jiang token so himi pahen patien tu adu kum je so pasta tuan zau mo
Yeah, we gotta look at the fruit.
oh yeah jiang token so mi anu na keng ter so le kon degree na le so that should be bonus
Yeah.
yeah
Exactly. Kami ka tulad
but
po.
it's the opposite mo degree na ve ten kan wow kan ti so le
Yeah.
pasta kum thum rong atwan chum hana atwan lem lau ti vek pom hana poi lau pi degree na si
Doctor.
as your
Kai
chat
lau.
so
Oh, yeah.
Come here, Lika, I want to talk about how explicit is your dad when it comes to like patien tu tang tasim, because nowadays I feel like a lot of pastor mi mit mai ki an zau mi mit mai an zau ka ti ka
feelings
mi ki an masong mi an masong. I mean there's both good and bads, but ka ti ding karel du son mi so patien ni mit mai zau nak en ka mi du mi an thai du mi yang mi si tu lai se bet bet sin si so tam son pastor ki swal tu an re lao ti se la ki ka swal ji lo men thai kan ma lai mi long context long slow in ka looking at like
Yes,
all of the
yeah.
preachers, especially in this day and age, nobody wants to hear you are a sinner, you were born a sinner, and because you are a sinner, because you are swalfai swak mi kan sironga kami ronga ka hel natla ding timi ka kan thai do lo. So you know it's more like a motivational katina lo sinan patien na lo do dot. We focus so much on
Exactly.
God being love that we forget that God is holy, God is just, you know.
Yeah.
We forget that and we only take God is merciful, God is full of grace, God is love, kan ti kam kami po long long. That is not what's going to get us saved. Mo misual kan si ti ka kan thai mai sa tool.
Si.
And as a preacher, you have the duty to kan ma kan sinak sual kan sinaka import lang ta ding. To me sual kan si oh rindam tu karaktul. But who can save me? Jesus. And then it's like leading us to Jesus, right? So minung min mai ka zau ka titika. That's what I mean in a sense of like oh what do the people want to hear, or patyan yang mi sisimtar indu ti mi aki like yang kadanang how explicit is your dad when it comes to like stuff.
atong chen mo nan governor vet good
Yeah.
wow yeah
Let me stop.
atong chen na sa
the governor don't disappoint
in a good way you know
Si.
in a good way tu tiang chu ya ki thutak asim ngam ding in ki pathian ni ta shwai ti achana chu tau na ki sin ki oh ti rong in ki rak chang ki tu sia ti le nga yang chu tu na rel vekin pathian thu ki aru langin mo kan rel ding asile chu e ki yang si thu thil thu thang tha si asi kauna sinan mi she khachanga ngai har sa zet mi thila si chu ti
Yeah.
janga ti le chu kan si nak vek vek in ki in phor lang tika ki kan accept thai lao you know tu mi tu na sim mi ki ka thau khan tok
si
janga ti le tu lai praise and worship la zet mi pol la nang la na du zet ti ki la ka du zet ti ki kan ngai re raw le ki a selfish to pathian ki kan an thang that la abang kaunan asinan jiang tin si game kapara that nak divek an rel an sak kaunan atam sona chu ti sinan ki kan ma le kan ma kan ret sangok nak lam ki tu lai
the
worship
focus
yeah
though, yeah.
lyrics pol ki atam tok tra ki la kan ngai divek at la ki scripture thon amilok motimi ki especially tu lai lar zet pol la ki ti that ten ki kan zaw atul yeah
Yeah.
kan ti ve na sa kan nong kan rel khala mo so le kan kau than tin kem khala kan implement set e to kan kau than ni chairman kan minau roi to chairman ti ve khal alhangai mi ti ve khat khat kan nong khal kha ngai e Camille lyrics ka von pool ka ti google la so le von pool align ka share to ka te kami chu yang ti nak sen so and it's like wait why would you want your enemy to die aren't we supposed to love our enemy more the vek yang ka like the song the lyrics meaning ka that na zo to ka von ti te ka avon ngai cho alha ka du tok si kan kheng thai mo kan ma te na te a kami long te ka kan ma te na dang kan kheng thai mo ante kheng lan du le
No, I mean like I remember Saturday 5 here. like so long ago ครูสัตค่ะกันไหนดะhe ยังมีลาประกาศสักขมีเวกลาโซสักเหล่าดึงที่ยังกัดดึง he was มีตัวลา lyrics กันสิมร้องอ่ะมอ he was so upfront and honest to the point where it was like he didn't care about what people were gonna say he was okay to just pinpoint it and then กันชงอ่ะ so it was foreign for us because kivya ki kan thei da lo kan ti pe ju mo and that was back when we didn't have a pastor of course and so we didn't have a good shepherd that could lead yet and tujo by the grace of God pasat la kha probably very similar to your dad and probably similar to your dad in age and you know like an royo kai don dan lam ka se an bango ding ka zum kau
นั่นปัสสาวะละค่ะฟลอริดา move ตัวเลย
please
switch thinking
กัน governor soft talk to
Igarelu so Mitsuka he was upfront and just like kami vek la bot la kha katin lyrics nan thlang lo ding le sak lo menu din kit de kha we were kan lao tok sumo ika Garelu so Mitsu I think we need to bring those kind of preachers back
yeah
like nati vek and ru lang kawi kan sinak vek che sim ding mi mo sinak vek kan simo like kan yang we don't
It
like
hurts.
it
I mean it is
so
so
do tan taka just dai sai kun ti vek
he tin pan de tiปัจจัยทุกที่เวกกันวนเรียลแต่ก็ it's always like มาอัดลิงมีกันในเวกวิธีเวกปันแต่น่าเจ้าเราไม่ได้เราน่าเเราดังน่าสดอัดรูลจูสดจะน่าหนาจูมั้ง like
and that's sort timiaka it can be from koknak you know what I'm saying like
โอ้ยเราสด
yeah
สดอั
you
ดรูล
have
จู
to
น่าชัด
like
เรา
kan
หนักโอ้ย
like a lot of people might like say the wrong thing like oh mi koknak whatever but you have to love someone enough to the point where you can tell them truthfully what it is you know like let's say you and I have a good mi kok sila in discipline
okay
more so because you kok tinak and
have
kok so
mad
it has a
respect for him
yeah exactly literally in discipline tamtok you know to the point where it was like one time I was wearing like a red jean or something right kami vek kon mo nara in TZ so I was like oh my gosh my red dak ning knai lao you know
หน่อย
and to the
ติง
like
ติงเราเรียกอกเทยจูกระซุ่ม
กันหนีจบไม่อ่ะกันเฟก
โอ้ย
no kati do so you know like you
Yeah.
need someone like that
Yeah.
because kan mo le pa ni
Exactly.
tam son so ke fa le kan ti so to the point where sim ding kan ti but
That's
if
true.
you have
Yeah.
someone who is like patien rong bol tu tiang e khatin na mai na mit mai zau lo ten na nu le pa mit mai zau lo ten kok tu na ka so fa le vek du dot vek ro ren lo kok ngam ma si le so that's mad respect
yeah
you know because we are like oh ano le po ni tin in real pang nagtiting tiki minung tanis kan pang be so me as a Sunday school teacher sometimes
yeah.
I do that not all of it but no le ba sha kat ki afale malte ki ko kan tu na ki kami vek po kaso
Yeah.
I leave them alone because of my fear
Californian move ตัว
yeah
True.
so kati do so mi so rong mo tu pakadil munin ka sometimes you have to be blunt and honest so that they can grow spiritually and then zoom to kan titikal hi kan thomo dan tiang khatal ve mo like it doesn't really make sense if you're not going to go to the interview like that why are you coming to the house of the Lord dressing like that tiki kami ki like conviction ki kanai tam daw kati bezo as I grew in age because when I was young teenager we just like okay nobody can tell me what to do I know what I'm doing tivek mindset ki kanai mo and but if we only had that kind of person leader in our life a mentor who can just tell us straight up to the point where
how
it's
it
like,
is right
yeah, blunt and honest to the point where it's like what it makes us think a lot
แกมันเขาเรียกตัวนั้นตรงสลัดจุกกระรักชาเดียว
yeah exactly
ไรปินก็ส่วนเราดึงนั้นเดียว
yeah กบฏหลักกันที่กันเก่าฉันอุปาบอลคุยน่าตรอนตลาดเลยค่ะซิมริงริงเชื่อมิจูที่มีปีใหม่นั้นดิ่งอ่ะที่นั่น outfit ที่
oh my gosh
respectful หมอที่มีที่นั่นอินิสินั้นสวกลานะที่zawok ring because you know t-shirt ki
for the record รุ่นดุก
I'm just you know
yeah
ki polo shirt ki
Florida น่ารัก
color
ก็รอนสวยดึงปาเต้นกดกระรูกค่ะลงเกมเหล่าตก
color name mi simo
Yeah.
and then ki tu picnic di vekan fet la lete pants mi pa la se la short pants nan shoot la le you know
อโมยเดี๋ยวมี
amoy
อุ้มซี
mi
อ๋อ
you know
people that use for golf you know like those
จุดกันไหลมีกันอวดแต่คือพักกันตั้มปีพอกันอวดจู่
yes
I don't know
yes,
why
cargo
but
pants friends. I love them.
Come here, so look, we're basically talking about
know.
my sayata right now. It's so true. Kimiki, amantok, I hate that. Hate to see louding that like very deeply. I feel offended katiding sa kaya kaswa louding because I don't want to use the word hate, but I don't like it when Christians use, oh, but God, look at our heart. Zoom low tu, bruh. 2 Timothy. Sorry.
Calm down.
It's okay. We got you.
I'm country but hood from the south, Tidul. But you know, we are here like Zumtun minaw na siro nga zo manilaw na utat lase si mansala na tong kam na thomodan na nuntlan na ziaza Zumtu dang pol tin ka umjumo Zumtu dang pol ti angin ka zau tim ding nong ding mi kan si so and then for the record Zumlo to pol ni they don't look at our heart, they don't know that, right? They look
Very
at
true.
our outer appearance. From that, if we're not yang katadang
So,
an ma
tingkat.
siya kan sile so ka we're nothing different.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Kan music dan kan tong dan tiang ka kan sa atin kan bango tule so what is the difference between us being
Yeah.
Christian and them not being a Christian?
Yeah. Especially kan trong kam, you know?
See,
Because
Myself
see.
included, yeah.
kan na tron nak thon ki supermarket ki ka lut tam zet today. To me ki customer ne ni sin kan thai tam big mi to ki. We have like customer a route that me kan tong chan ki tu Sunday after church after 12 between 12 and 2 or 3 p.m. Ring ring. I'm like, oh, that's so embarrassing, you know? Yeah, dile so bia ini sin kan swak veten ki bia ina
Sing,
so you know we are the best. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Swal nak nei lo swal to da lo vek in ki kan tawi ti sinan an leng kan
right.
swak into you know.
Our true self ka bot lala. That's what I
Okay.
mean. Thomo dan ding tiang en
Yeah.
na party vek en ka kan kon no pa bot la ki tu Sunday tla kan kom ding ka ring. Glowin pa. Ka
No pressure.
a lot of pressure.
No pressure.
Kan siya pa tu ding unfortunately he's in
no.
Georgia.
Sila to karala mai de.
Orang min ka Korean kan nei. Karelu son mi tu
Yeah.
like big influence, you know, to the point where we are realizing kan thomo dan ding tiang en ki atupi not just because it's on Sunday but tu kan siya pa ki zawala you will never not see him in a coat and some nice dress pants. The only time is when it's bedtime he wear his pajamas, right Moite? A pajama day,
Right
you know
there.
exactly what I'm talking
Right.
about.
Siya pa ang lao kay tuk supo daw.
I know, right?
Oh.
And he takes that into consideration. That's who he is. It's like mundang kava fe role kava elet la I need to be the same as I am in church. You know?
Always be ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Antik
midang
raw
ni
rin
zau
mo
ding tiang and so that mitu na ti kom chen hua so midang vek piki kam sila la so mo. So I think it's really important like siapan hini ka zermi tatampi like lay lam danin sa se traw lam danin sa se. You know, the person you are in church should be the same person in outside of church.
Yep.
Not two different things. And I'm really working on that in a sense of like biyakin na si so felt so olde, you know, but that still doesn't mean that I'm not constantly like mad or
Yeah.
something like that. It's like the Holy Spirit is working in my heart. I
Especially
promise,
when we're
slowly
driving.
and
Adik.
Side eye, inti do naksi tuzan. Inti do naksi.
Hey, what we talking about? Self-control, right?
Side eye.
No, that's me. When
ก็
I'm
ก็รู้
driving.
ไปปวดหลายจนนั้นเทลุย and most of the time like ก็หลายเขาจะก็ชินแห้งเลยคือกับคริสเตียนสีนักกระเรตตาดึงก็ตี
Yo. I don't know.
ไว้ตั้มปีตาจุคริสเตียนมีสลาวสลายจุกันตีมีหลายกันจุ
Yeah, yeah.
อะตั้มนอนyou
Oh,
know
eh, oh, eh.
But I'm glad we can't divide that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And then katin kan ruat no mana ki the Holy Spirit convicts us. Kan tuan hua ka kan chin nuam zhuang lo zhuo.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Nuam
like
lau,
we
eh.
want to take that revenge, but we know it's wrong inside of our heart, and that I think that's the good part because we have the Holy Spirit living inside of us. And then kan minung si danin ka arak nung tumle mana ka tarau chang hamin nunin sim te ka ka.
Yeah.
Kan guilty sila win ka we are convicted nunin sim te ka oh him hi ka to alaw ding mi si ti mi in theater. I kavek conviction kan nila sila so I mean obviously maybe there's not someone living inside of you to be telling you that you are not doing what you're supposed to be doing, but it always comes to repentance.
yeah and to go back on you okay
On me?
no on you're not the guest today so ไว้ตั้มปียกินมินุ่งนี่กันติดเท่าไม่โจ ยังรอซอให้นูจูอมวยมวยทนตูยังซอลังวาละในเราที่แวกหมอเจ้าเลยฮิมีซิงเกิลนูฮิลุกันลาสักอาทิตย์สิยังรอซอฟลาในเราเจ้าเราเลยกันเกมาเลยกับรถปีโป้กันติดให้เรื่องเท่าไม่เจ้าฮินัวมวยทนลังวาลปะวัสเวลากันติดเท่าจ้าหมอ like ซาตัวงะเรามุสีที่แวกกันลากันติดso like อารักเราใช้วันซาตุลารักปังบังตาเสร็จละคำนี้บอกค่ะ what are you looking for in quality wise
big breath get your breath
You have to say it honestly.
yeah ยังอาจจะเลยค่ะ we want to find like that person you know
they're like
เราแรกคน Christian mingle ละค่ะ
oh okay so my sabi ka so obviously it might be an obvious answer but okay
กัน producer and the phone's out man
leave me alone okay anyway อย่างสิปะเทียน zoom ตู้ที่น่ากินปะเทียน zoom ตู้จูสิเขานั้นสินั้นปะเทียนทน relationship อันไหนตู้คือกันตัวไม่สับกันดิอย่างที่เล zoom ตู้สิให้จูall that สินั้น relationship ง่ายๆในดิ่งจูคือ you have to do a lot by yourself you know what I mean นั่งมันนี่ตั้มปีน่ะตัวโจมีทีละติกะคือปะเทียน zoom ปะเทียนทน relationship ชาเตในเลยจูit already comes with you know like คือมีดังดูดนักเทียมนักละในดิ่งมีดังสองรถนักละในคืออันไหนสิดิ่งคืออาจารย์เต้นคืออะไรจีวีว่า discipline อย่างหมอกคือที่จุดที่ก็คือมีแค่ทุกปีจะก็ดี and then นุปีปัสสาวะในยกดิ่งอ่ะจูนั่งจูนั่งลวดจะไว้มั้งฮิลำกับ
look
ฮิลำเตฮินะลำ
บอลเฮีย
มาบน zoom out อันดุงลำปักมันปะเนียนุ่มหลาย
แค่มาจะบอกดิ่งยานุปีปัสสาวะในยกดิ่งอ่ะจู especially for นูนาวช่างอ่ะละจูBible ส่งอัตลักษณ์หมวยที่อินสังยาลูนูนาวาลูจูมีภาษีที่เวกันที่เขานั้นอาศินันจูมีหลานนี่อ่างานมีคำว่ามีป้าอีอาลูค่ะแค่มีคือหลายมีลองอ่ะแต่สิเรา Christian marriage ที่มีชิมมาคิดที่แค่มีคือกันปัลเช่าอินคือเกี่ยมากับหมู่ด้านปันเตที่จังอ่ะที่เลยจูหลายมีหลายป้าปอลอันตรงคือวุ่นง่ายว่าละปัสนุปีในเจ้าปอลที่Oh, in very respect เราเวคือ you know I'm the head of the family but สินั้นมีป้าอีลัวค่ะจิสุครีเราติกาจูนูนาวนี่คือกัน respect ให้เราปันเตติ you know
It doesn't come automatic
exactly yeah จรองอ่ะคือมีป้านี่คืออาลูว่าไทยเฟียงเต็งอ่ะจูมีลองอ่ะคือนูนาวนี่คือซิมเรเราจูเรา respect คืออาราจิ
to piggyback on that I want to say this
ก็ขอละไร
okay มีปาค่ะอลัวสิอลัวจนนูนาวเขายังเสด็งอ่างหง okay listen because
okay I know where you're coming
นั่นปาสิมังไงเราเลยเมรไม่
No but honestly มีตัวโอเมริสมีค่ะอดิกตก and then คำมีหลายกันเสียสิเลยค่ะ it says it talks about how Jesus loves the church มัวอันนู้นนักเป็กดึงเจงินก่อนช่างอ่ะดูดกันป้าเลปอลจูเวกอินตินค่ะทอกสมัว we forget about that นัดตีเวกเจ้ากันหลายมีป้าปอลจูคืออันซิมตะกัดอันยันตัวคือนู่นเลปอลคือ like ป้าเลปอลซิมดึงมีหมดตัวดึงเวกันคือ that's the mindset and that's not the thing men are called to be leaders but what is your example like Christ gave up himself for the church because he loved the church ก่อนนั้นดูดรองอะค่ะอันนู้นนักเตียงค่ะเปียกออกจูเวกหรือนั่นนู่นเลยนั่นนู่นก็ได้นั่นอินสังนู่นช่างอะคือคำมีเวก expectation กันนะเรดเวทให้หมอ because that's what you're called to do and if you are laying that example it becomes automatic in a way that นู่นเอาช่างอะค่ะลำสินค่ะ it's like อเปียองออกเวกอะจังสมมติ we honestly I don't know about you, but I don't want to lead in the family. And I know I'm not called to lead in the family. So, like, what she's saying is that obviously the husband or the husband-to-be has to be already be equipped to lead, not someone who's still when you guys are dating or engaged or married. You know, like, you're supposed to be prepared and ready.
And also, we're also told to love, right? So, like, kan no pitiak po kasi, kan do deng in sim, Bible kan ni. so te ka like you said kan ready lo hinom te kan German class se ka du dot na kan ne sia chun feedback impact mi kha kan lak chiam tham jo
Yeah.
jang ve ken kan nu people ne khami tu ma khatin na tong mi kha adek law sau kho ti mi in ti mi pol kha we just kind of like I don't know what our producer is doing
He just
you're grounded
pooped.
na fala no ka phone na
I can't look at him.
di ve ken kan nu pi ni kha chon pasal ne submit atol jo mo and then pasal ne ka kan nu pi ka kan do atol jo love kamo kami quality kan ne ke chon it will work just fine
But one thing I want to add, and then we'll go back to the physical and all those stuff. I mean,
กระตรงดึง
She's
Wait,
like, you
hold
have to be
on.
very descriptive.
yeah, so that someone out there, oh, that's me. Anyways, no people can to be there because people they're called to lead, but at the same time, kan marong aka. Kan pasal ta ka mit mai thanga tuan si thei sumo we are their crown they are the head but we are also the glory that others see so nupi like nanun nata chimvek and ki she was the crown of the family and of your father nanu kikitlok in like zumnak lama se or nupi fel arak silaw sela ka napa mit mai ranga or nan insang ranga ka wouldn't be a crown lupong moi te kharak si thei law din so when we think about yes, men are called to lead and be the house, like the head of household, but us as wives, we need to remember that we represent our husbands and we need to be that beautiful crown for them. So going back, so Karaulama, yes, like Piang Tarmi Situ, and then capable of leading, and what else? Kumlama, then nahak they are your Kruger Anske. Or like older, whatever. Like coming to that's just like like I'm sure like when you were young you probably like prayed about it or whatever.
Yeah,
but like
no,
so, like you said 30 the night vivo you get a little bit more descriptive. Maybe that's why God didn't give you because you weren't being specific, you know what I'm saying?
that could be โอ้ย
could be.
ประเทศนี้นะไทยนะดูมีไงนะไทยเราเป็นเรา
It's
เรื่อง
too
เรา
much,
ติดตาม โอ้ย
exactly. So like go ahead.
Ouch.
you have to be the Nemo like was it Nemo right
Finding Nemo?
Nemo
Finding
yeah
Nemo?
you have to
I
like
haven't
know
watched
what
that
you
movie,
want
so I
yeah
don't know what you mean.
Nemo กติกา and I was like wait that's Nemo
Nemo. Okay, go ahead. It's a
Nemo
Okay. My cheek hurts from laughing. Okay. Yes. Physical lam hi chai ti. Kum lam tla ki ti. Okay. Kum lam a hi chu mo.
Ni no la.
Kan naw na ki naw hak lo ka du.
oh okay
Because you know it's
That'd be
awkward.
weird.
That
Oh,
would
yeah.
be
So
so
2000 is
weird.
the cutoff.
2001. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, 2000 is the cutoff. Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
ตัวไหนจะมาหมองลีเฮียนอวดเซ
What does that mean?
มาเยหมองลี
Me no speak Burmese.
นุปีเขาอุปเดี๋ยว now
Okay.
Like-
okay.
like me
Yeah, kanut la upa deo si.
like
Go
me
piang. Ako pa. Ako tuwi ka. Ang lamay piagin sa nok.
Yeah, and then for me, the one of the like really important one is communication.
สิ
Yang atile kay ki ka felok ter lam silaw inti insang tilrong a ki ka mature all that ki ka mature all ka tiding mo ka kum milawin ki ka grow up I grew up really fast so rong a ki til ka rot mi tule nu naw ka sina kinti til kan rot mi ta tam zeti so rong a ki communication chaten communication titika ki biak ok men silawin ki understanding you know
เสียเสียสรอรีมาเลย
yeah to me kia tup yeah
อาเด็กรอรี wow like I always mention relationship communication อุมาเลยจะทีใช่ไหม
yeah
the same way with God the moment that you don't pray and you don't read Bible you're
Exactly.
dead
So communication nanti what is what is considered good communication? Because I mean like some people for them speaking every day or
Nah.
like constantly that is good for them.
That's
For some,
childish.
yeah, I know. But for some, it's like, so like for you guys, what is your standard of like communication wise? What is the
So
standard?
on my relationship, right, when you're making decisions, that's when you need to communicate. And kaklau communicate kati, it like came in fixed idea so it's not gonna
Exactly.
affect anything. So when you're communicating, have the
Open mind.
able to like take feedback from that person, like the idea that you're given, right? So tu ba ma kanun hena kami to asla kadu thana timo kati kanun ni idea in pe bang ta sala te. And I'd be like, to ding ting karet zau no chun in peng thai lau ding, and that would be wrong from my end.
That's not communication anymore.
Oh,
You're
yeah,
just
that's like
telling her,
informing.
I'm going to do this,
Oh, yeah.
you know?
Once in a while, yeah, inform.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's what my parents always say about me. They're like, "Fitting who long to me in detail."
they're not wrong.
Like after I made up my mind, can I fitting so hard? The fit is also, you know what I'm saying? So like, I should go.
I do that sometimes too, even with my wife, and she'd be like, "Cái mặt là cái ron tao lại thì theo thì," and I was like, "Hi mi chút thà đừng tính karwat chia mi rong asi kati," and then it worked most of the time, like 99% of the time. There's that one time.
But like, Asumike, do you think that's the same for you?
Yeah, I think it's mostly the same. Like you said, you know, need in day, you know, like teenagers, very soon zan biak ok katu til tang thay la sila. It's not realistic, and that's
tuan
not
takan na ito.
communication. You know,
Oh, yeah.
that's just talking to each other. We can
That's just
text all
bothering.
day, and I don't remember a word you said. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But sinan effective communication thing into si I really have to understand what you're saying, and then especially for me, tu tin har nak kanai chani thlaga cham che rol pi nen ka biak le ki si I don't want them to give me advice. You know what I mean? I'm not coming to you for advice, but I just want to
Express.
express
Like, hear me out.
yeah, just hear me
Right?
out.
Yeah.
Kiveki, you know.
I think that's every woman, to be honest.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
Honestly.
like mi pa chu like from Antrong Tam Lao. I don't know about that.
we-
Do like mi pa, okay?
We do. I think we do talk a lot, but we don't make sense. Is that us or you guys?
That's y'all.
That sounds like a you problem.
Not me though. Sometimes
Mình có thể nói lâu.
that was your fault. See,
But
and I think girl like no now kids malte communication ke nandu deo mi pa hakin. Mi pa it's like they always said we will know like maybe 40% of what you said. And then we'll actually do like 4% or 5% of what you tell us to do.
Yeah, we just want you to listen.
Yeah.
but it comes
Yeah.
and then goes out.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's us. Overall, so like, basta fanutiakin kite, what is your most struggles and what is your most like success, I would say? Like, wow, I'm actually glad my dad is a pastor. That kind of thing.
Struggle in toxicity. Let's
say.
start from something. I think struggle in ki ma, like I said before, ki ma ke expectation ki jiang si asang tuk pang mo divek lati, and then ki tu su na kan be out la ko Joseph la ki online tu lai tu online ki kan live ki online na ki tam se ti ti
See,
ki va ki am I doing too much? Divekte tule kana hak de olaya tu biak ini. I will tell you something really funny, even though our producer says to wrap up, but I still want to tell this.
he's fired for now.
Kana hak la ki tu tiang ka ngil thai lo mi tu ka pa ka a preach tu a sim lai Sunday school la na hak kan sil ka silaya si mo. Kum play thum shong ka sitting adel hi kan lai shong ka si tule karol pi thon kha kan tau tlang ka. And then we were talking as you do, you know.
Guilty.
Tule ka pa tu sim na kin ka ka trong tam de sitting I guess, and then he was like Mary jiang an trong re
Me Maya.
bit parin, okay. pulpit party.
Talk about being blunt.
Yes. It's okay. Yeah. I think that's the memory I have that I can't forget. I keep laughing even when I think about it. And then me 像是 pastor's kid in a struggle that the me pakhat kay mai ka struggle that me to 像是 me to in suit vekin ti kapa an criticize me ki kasanga hi tu tiang in ki ngai a har kati kau ngai a har zet kati kau jang ati le chu chan tampia chu member ni ki in lami an team to mi ki kan mulau chu ti 30 minutes two sim ding in ki jang thu ki rei study an to tool than cham tool ti mi ki kan mulau chu mi ki an thei thiam ve se la ti ki ka du zet theu chu le kan lai mi community a ki pastor ki kan expect hi jang tin si pe of course kan expect a sang ding chu si jang ati le pathian rong bol tu an si ti mi pi shwai tu ding an si churanga ki kan expect hi a sang zet ka na sinan I want us to remember ki kay ma isin thokin ti that they are also human, you know, ki an tong swal chana tivek chu chele oh hi chu pastor dan ding silaw tivek kan ti chan pang mana ki we have to remember they are minung an sive ti mi ki kan remind ok ring ki mi ki a tool zetin ki ka thi ka mu chu mi chu pas struggle ti sela struggle ngai la tu song lo nan but you know struggle kami kha red sela and then I think it's very rewarding that pastor fanu kasi ka van tha kalung oi tu katimi chu tu church tivegat la ki ka mangok thai mi la ki iki kalung oi said I'm sorry for laughing.
Can you stop?
Thau o mi kha kan producer ni a thoi le ro lai
An fu kau ding mi tu dan sam le ro si. And I was like, "Kui to in son lud."
Check up kan la.
tang thai
Kan producer cousin pon sam le.
ki cậu shana ki tu kan cậu shan la kan fate zeti mo kan fate zeti chutika ki thil pakhat a le ki in rin san zet mi kam huin ki katna ngam zet
Awesome.
tu Sunday school atla in kan zeri tun la shwai ti ve kat la praise and worship la kan lead thai ti ki me ki honestly mi tu kan rel ve kin kapa hi pastor sila se la like church member men ki ti ve ki si se la ki ngai in chu church e volunteer na 20 mi ki thil all sila ti I don't think I'll be able to do it ki sinan kapa ni kanu le pa ni la tha jang in pe ki to me pha thon ki yeah I think that's the most rewarding.
Wow.
And then something I want to add mitu tlanarak ti because we don't see the behind the scenes. Kan ma pilamin especially you and me kalin si sete because it's so easy to criticize. Ama long te kan malam ki kan zawa thalo. So vek thaw in mitu na te vek kan pathian na tron tu po kasi se kan ma vek human an si ama long te pathian ni ko nak leije ko nak an chawrong amo special calling an chawrong a mi pi shwai tu in se pathian thang tha sim to ding an tuan so mi a mi pi boli kan thanem big thainak din so an mai ranga thla kan chamsak te se if we prayed for them as half as much as we criticize them
Yeah.
how much more are we going to tangsao
Yes.
you know what I'm saying because
Or read
when
the
you
Bible too,
yeah.
right?
When
Yeah.
we think about it, if we see their then criticizing kan huve den ka cook bilin an ranga thla kan chamsak se sela so how powerful would they
And
be
or call them and say, "Hey, can we have a talk?
yeah
This is what I want to release from my chest." I do that all the time. Tu kan pasta paton kal khiti kay our friends it ka honest rin ka honest like kan pasta pa kan ni to me come in ti ka du la change my mind, you know, like try that.
yeah
And if I'm wrong, I'll tell you, "Oh, singai." And they can not gonna lie kan pasta paton that communication is what we have. Wai tampi ka kati siya pa tu lai himi ke chumal te ka long kim lau de we ti ve ken kan ti de ka o khami kha chutin sau kho
and we get
explanation in
to
si
see
de
the
ka
perspective.
o ti my point of view ka kan von hu te ka it just calms us down and that's the following the cost of following is Jesus, right? And I do feel guilty too, like most of the time I hear pasta to me
Yeah.
ti tu khala ka tel da ko
Get
Tu
like the
khacho-
biggest challenge
yeah
for the
tu
past
khacho
last year
rather than me just complaining ka call ding siapa alenga kan bak
Yeah.
lang ding ro kan nei tlang ding himi te hi lau sim ka du isin pia o ti vekin ke kami ki ke ma kan na ka mang thang te ka it doesn't hurt me and I don't have to be fake
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then mi tu na rin mi pakatek ed do mi tu ki criticize lam ki minung siya nga so all na sabi mo kan
And it
tum
never
siam
stops.
so true you know.
Never stops.
like I was born with that you
Yeah,
know
exactly. We were all born with it. And then ki kan in sangat la si sila pastor family dang tu kat hei jam so lo iti midang shangi midang ini khaan cham ding kanu le pa an fe mi ki ka mutam zet tu tiang in ki an tware ro lai mi se ki midang ina khaan cham ding sinan ka mu lo mi chu ti kan ina ra in ki special zet in ki zau man ni ki thla in cham sak
Wow.
ki ka mu lo
I never
ki mi
thought of that.
yeah ki
They
mi
make
ki
home visitation but convenient.
exactly
that is bad well
Yeah.
for the record kan
This is
ito
the most key. This is the most
That's-
eye-opening
yes.
of all the things. Literally,
For the-
exactly. We took a simvek and kan pasta ki like kan pictures nairo kan zaten is an hele 89 strong member kan sitting close to that almost 300. He has all of our pictures to the point where nahakte mo tala ki amina thai divek and ki picture that ki kan jam
Wow.
so like some people might not understand that concept but kumupa si ve zorong at laka katina to so that he can know he can practice recognizing these faces kan changa tla jam sai kan ma ni le tla kan jam sak lo tika so how do we expect them trao lama ho ham jana thon tuan sim ti kala se you know what I'm saying like it's home
And
home visitation an to kan malamin kasi se an in lama kan varat thelo mana kan umnak kelin ki how often do we
Sira
pray for
rimle.
these,
And one thing
know,
I don't know this thought or mindset kan lai mi laki umreng mi ka thei thiam thei lo mi ki chute kan pasta pan kan ina than ra cham sakla ti khun re ro lai mi kan si US kan thleng noi kan tam tok and honestly like ke ma khala han ka vek chin lung kan ai yang atile that's where we come from and that's what the culture is supposed to be back home ka kan culture dan thiri reng back home deu pasta ina tuan dan ti vek kan rak rot ti I don't know. There's no Bible that said you have to go to every houses and pray for them for being a pastor. But kay mating katawi Bible study ka to at haka chamtika. Wait, he could have been doing something else good for himself. So pasta kan pasta kas chachong nong simo. Ka phone siya pan hina kan kati. Kanin in leng rong teng in than rong cham sak dul ha. Kol na tlon na ki airport ti thana cham khal pathian ni ngai sau ko. And at worst na dai leng lai thla I cham sak man ka pathian ni ngai no matter where you go kan in da rong teng in so sip lai thla ka ba cham sak ding ti na thin nung na ne the rong ka wo ama long te don't feel like you're being
obligated
like don't feel like it's a part of your job descriptions you know like kating kati te ka and kan pasta parang khla phul nom zit so in the thiam mi ka lungoy in ti chumo cuz he has his family too you know
and then also pakita ed to mi so kan lai mi poki we are so bad at showing appreciation seriously if
nang mai sin tok
yeah kay ma sin token you
I'm
know
just
like
kidding
Charaw lama
I feel guilty
like
too
kan pasta pa kasi kumrok
Yeah.
sri liang long ki in rakum pisa we charaw lam kalas kasi kay ma personally kan tangzet everybody whether that be physically spiritually mentally you know amai tlatsam nak rong ale amai patien tu thon in som nak en ki kan tanglian ama long te like how often do we say thank you you know minung in so yeah thank you di so ki kan ha ko so silawe you know like we're not expecting it but a little goes a long way. We're like besa kan pek thelo mana mo. Siapa thain jam sak ring mi rong aki kalong oi tok tivek tal. You know like because minung kan sivek and ki we want to hear those things. You know we want to hear that we're being appreciated or we want them to know us. So
That is good.
minung like in clear to Paul kasi se kay masin token like kan pastor po siya nga patien na tuan to po siya nga mo especially pastor because an ma ki kan mai to khal tu big an siro nga an mai siya nga tla kan jam sak ding le an mai hena Jesus sin ke kan tiam kan
Did you
tiam
set
da pe,
kan tiam
yeah.
mo And
I
also-
think that is as like members and as
See.
just being good Christians that's something the two that we can really improve on
and also like mirha khat khat okay an por le tok la la
because that's not good
it's
that's
like
so
you're putting too much sugar like you're gonna
Come
give
because
me
we
diabetes you
cringe.
know
yeah
yeah
atok fang te ka mo like
oh,
oh mangai te
yes
See.
yeah yang atile porok nak timi ki jang si porok ring ngal nak ki aswak ol za
dik
tuti
tok daw rin mali.
you know have your limits but you know
yeah
I would
just
say
be truthful
pray like nan ma patni tla te ka lau cha do nan sia pa te ini fe tha cham sak ti mi ki ning zak ding si lau it can feel like so much pressure
Yeah,
but
Yeah.
it's true.
go pray for them
That's kind of like giving your boss bonus,
why not
It's like you should be giving it to me.
why not and then
work
mi
so
toy
hard.
ujo sorry to cut you off
Go ahead.
She does it all the time, so do it.
Go ahead. It's normal.
okay mi tu ujo sep na rel back in te yang si tu kan ni kan church a chu house visit ti mi ki a har salawa chang pe tu ti kan member kan mali ti sinan na rel back in tu over 200 member 100 member class sela pastor sanga ki atam pia chu purit class thei
Ding male.
sinan gay mai ka perspective a chu member si sela ka pastor ka ini ara I thain cham sak ti mi chu I will appreciate it so much you know what I mean
Yeah.
sinan ki narel vekin te appreciation ki kan tilang thiam lao ka tiling ma se ya kan tilang ngam lao si ke
And Tim Lo.
หมวกกับปดปังเลยสิเราแล้วนะปังเป็นที่ของอาสุดเลย
for la na
Oh,
ya
yeah.
I mean, like saying thank you, I appreciate you. It's not bird though. You know, when you really think about it, the lung oil sila to lung oil, not like oh we don't get like oh siapa lung that's key. I would never imagine
Extra.
myself saying but
Extra.
you know siapa tan jam sak ring lung oil tok. You know, like your prayer goes a long way because honestly, if I know that someone is praying for me, like my mom, like I said, it literally be. And Nikki, they wake up really early and stuff like that. But my mom, she will sleep sometimes at like 11 and then wake up at 4. You know, for her age and working all day. Karot sagiki, I'm like, dang, I'm not even half of her age. Exactly. And I can't even do that.
That's
But when I
crazy.
hear her praying, sometimes because I'm like, wow, like times I'm suffering, you know, like all the unseen wars that I go through, like it gives me strength knowing that like I have someone praying for me, someone down on down on their knees praying for me.
Yeah.
It gives me comfort. So we can pastapo kasi say taralo ma introy to one and they need that from us.
They
you know,
do.
that's the
They
least that
do.
we can do. And to kan real kaning saktok because I am like that too. Criticizing ato all tok minung kito mir chatlaw na kan real sila to bedding tampi vivaw. Psalm 118 you know like mitlaw pon ni ronak pek mi asang lawin le an na law ro ri patat law ro ki mitkasokan city ta ka it comes from that. If someone is talking bad about pastor or patien rong baldo, just don't add anything. Don't associate yourself. Kami kikit la tu hi ka learn rero mo because that when I read that Bible verse, I was like, wow, this is really speaking to me. And I said it to a couple of my family members too. Hey, if people are saying it, just don't associate. Because then natel dingi like apot vivo.
You're a part of that.
So just don't associate it. So I'm really learning. Like last year is in talking more like tampi katang so naki kamok like nu so to ki kasunga like just be more praying for them because if people were to criticize the same thing about me, it will be so much more.
Yeah, like transparently, even me, a few months ago, I stopped going to church because of what happened. You know, Jacob know. I don't know if you know. You probably don't because you're a child. I'm just kidding. But I was deeply hurt. And we had our conversations. I like literally open up to 100% of who I am. And this is what my point of view, this is what I'm seeing, and this is where I think it's wrong, right? Jacob, stop it. and so kan pasta pani kan insin pia tang sumo hevek to me si ngai thiam dilok to kan dilok hwa thau tang sumo. And then that make me realize like kazum naki atuk law zia ki kai ma ka thayok cho jiang atile kazum naki pathian akin thuk ngai tak sala. And if I would just have fixed my eyes on him, this won't distract me at all. And so I feel some type of way, like I feel bad at the same time. And I was like, maybe this need to happen
So that you
because
can grow.
I'm stronger than what I was before that happened. So like I appreciate Pastor so much. Like kan Indoriara, and he talked to me face to face, just me and him. And kan ni kan so kan tirang dang ba ka vanle lunch date ti bek la kan fe dinner date la kan fe mo. De kan mai la ma yang tin so kan tua ding yang mi so ko nan nei ti bek kalin kin. and I was like, man, it's more than a full-time job. Yeah, they do so much, and imagine if the pastor are doing like that for the children. That's that's a lot of work for you guys too. It's your dad, it's your pastor. It's all at the same time.
He has a lot of roles to fill.
Oh,
So
yeah.
arangat la purit la atam zadeng, amalema, because we said we are our biggest criticizers. So
Yeah.
na pa arangat la, I'm sure minong sidanin pastor ka tonakin or insang pa kasinak din manin ka fale kan nupile tivek kan karot vek din sumo. So that's why they need all the prayers that
The support, everything.
So I mean, I think it is good to say. For me, kan conversation la kami to arel mi ka kamo ka big mi so anin va faith ha jamsak mo like
Yeah.
nativek kan kim pasong tok so because kraw lama ani ipabigan si kasi de siya pa tlakan lo jamsak ding mo bunti ding ki we are nowhere near.
It's like, who do you think you are?
But I mean, that means so much because we appreciate it when you come to our house and pray for us personally. How much like kan appreciate sila so an ma siya nga kating varot sak ding veki like yang tuan si atopi di media ka like I pick up that one and gito ding miro ria city like kalung kim tok and I hope that in the future that I can and can do this in real life because
Me too.
that
That's
is-
something I need to implement in my life.
yep and then praying more for them and then and family getting sa win ka like katamsak
Yeah,
kami ka like ka take out big me.
me too. I agree.
Any last words?
You guys?
I mean, key special shout out to you because
Yeah.
Thank you.
interview vek na sila we come on like that's not what we want. It's a conversation based and in ngai tu pon ta tu episode is salvia probably like 3 hours maybe I don't know.
So le mi rek kat boy in zau tu ti vek kal ti. Himi no yang kan thei si ti vek si ti nan ti klai Bible rak share so now. Catch 'em
Pray
out.
for each other. Let's be praying for each other.
Yes.
Yeah. So netalit la I mean maybe not this topic maybe other topic narong let la ka like
Yeah,
you're
and
one of
Florida
us.
reason na rai kan
Just for
longoy.
this.
Sure, but okay.
Yeah.
Kami katsu, the lie detector said you are telling
The truth.
Half
a lie.
truth.
Half truth. Yes.
Oh,
half
half
truth.
truth.
Not really for here.
See, run closer
We
here.
appreciate it, yeah.
Yes.
I hope nan in sang classes napatla tu yang patien rong bol tu si live and like karaw laman nan tang vivo napa kasi sa patien na drona ka patien in mang vivo. I mean that's
Amen.
That's our wish
Yeah.
and our prayer.
yeah. Kan tu sa mi. So
Yeah.
maybe Paul kan long oizan intel PE netalam classes sa intel din ka kan law som bed tu zani or tu zingi nan zau I don't know which one nan zau
Nan zau
chow but
zan.
kan malam tu zana siro nga tu zan lami kan real komi kasi sa asaw non PSNan in rak zau sak kan mai kan umnak tier kan pastor Paul le patien rong bol tu por sang classes sa tlacham nakin ki kan mang ring pai an in lama valeng thai tlacham sak ding kal ki kan tum vivo pai kay mai sen thokin ti media ka klaw hom do klaw som near do
Kan longoy.
bye
Thank you.
Bye.